Is it Santa?
Well, Merry Christmas, children.
Grandfather, we thought you were Santa.
You thought I was Santa? Not at all. I was just in the chimney there, cleaning it out so that we could all cozy up round the fire and get nice and warm. Would you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, sure is cold in here. Luke, could you pass me a log there and we'll get this fire lighting so we can be nice and warm. Oh, good man. Thank you, Luke. All right. Let's get this in here and we get this fire going.
Grandfather, when can I open my presents? I've been waiting all year so I can play with my new toy.
Of course you have. And presents are very important. But you know what? Children, come on over here. Sit down, gather around there by the fire, because I'm going to tell you a story.
Are you going to tell the story of Frosty the Snowman or the North Pole?
No, not tonight. Because I got a very special story for you tonight. It's a story right out of the Bible. And it's a story about the very first Christmas night. Long time ago. Does anybody here know what Christmas is all about?
Present!
Yeah!
Well, you know, Timmy, you're sort of right, but it's a lot more than just presents. It's about one very special gift that was given. Well, we're going to talk about that in just a moment, but, I may not be Santa Claus, but do I see cookies and milk over there? Sarah, do you think you'll get me some of those milk and cookies?
Sure, Grandpa.
Oh, I say, Sarah, thank you very much. That should be just about enough for me there. So, children, I want to tell you the story of Christmas. The very first Christmas, the night that Jesus was born. It was about 2,000 years ago, and an angel appeared to Mary and told her she was going to have a baby. But you know what? There was a wicked, cruel tyrant of a king, Caesar, and he controlled all those lands. And he gave an order that there would be a census. And everybody in that area had to go to Bethlehem. Well, you're going to ask me, what's a census? Well, a census is where all the people are numbered so that this evil king, Caesar, would know all the number of people that lived in the land he conquered. And they all had to go. And even though Mary's pregnant, on a donkey, they had to go on a long journey, about 15 miles, all the way from Nazareth to Bethlehem.
She had to ride on a donkey when she was pregnant?
Oh, he sure did, Luke. Pretty terrible, huh? And Luke, you have to know that the roads in those days were not like the roads that we have today. And they didn't have a nice big fancy car, an SUV or something. It was on the back of a donkey. Can you imagine that, children? Poor Mary. Well, they traveled a long journey and they got to Bethlehem, but there was no room for them to stay. And everywhere they went, they were told there's no room in the inn.
Grandpa, what is an inn?
Well, Molly, I'll tell you. An inn is sort of like a hotel, It'd be like a hotel today, and so everywhere they went, they got to the hotel manager or the innkeeper, and he said, no room in the hotel, no room in the inn. So eventually they came to one innkeeper, and he said, well, you know what? I don't have any room. It's too busy in Bethlehem at this time of year. But I'll tell you what, I do have a stable where I keep the animals out back. And if you like, you can go there. At least it's somewhere to stay. So they went. It wasn't very clean. It wasn't a very nice place. But Mary and Joseph quickly found a manger, a little place to put the baby Jesus when he was born. And they wrapped him in clothes and to keep him nice and warm. It was on that night, 2,000 years ago, in Bethlehem, that Jesus our Savior was born. And did you know that that very same time, up on the hills around Bethlehem, there were shepherds. They were watching their flocks of sheep by night. And an angel appeared to them in a bright light and told them that, behold, joy to the world, in Bethlehem the Savior was born. They could go right to that stable. They'd be directed there. The star right over the stable. And there they would find the baby Jesus. Oh, there was such joy when they got there. And you know, they weren't the only visitors. A little later on, the wise men came. Wise men from the east. These were kings. These were very, very important people, and they came. They brought some gifts. They brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And they went in and they worshiped Jesus. So you see, in a way, look, there you have the gifts, you know. They brought some gifts too. So, but all of this, you know, and all this story is to remind us, and you were talking about the presents a while ago. I think Timmy was saying he wanted to get his hands on those presents. But this is the most important part of Christmas, and why we celebrate Christmas and what it's all about. And why do we give gifts to each other? We give gifts at Christmas time because they remind us of the great gift that God gave in giving his one and only Son to come and die for us, that if we believe in Jesus, we'll never die. We'll all of our families, mom and dad and children, and grandpa and grandma and everybody, will all be in heaven together with Jesus forever. So that's the greatest gift, and that's why we give gifts at Christmas, to remind us of the greatest gift of all. And now, children, you know what? We'll be getting gifts from each other and from, lots of gifts at Christmas time. But you know, you can give Jesus a gift at Christmas. You know how you give him a gift? Remember you were fighting earlier over the presents and you were getting all kinds of upset and tense? Well, let me tell you. The greatest gift you can give Jesus is to love one another. He said, love one another. As I have loved you, love one another. And he loved us so much, he came and died for us. And that's the message of Christmas, to love one another. And that's the best gift you can give the Savior this Christmas time. And so now, children, having heard the Christmas story, is there anything you'd like to say to one another?
I'm sorry for fighting over the present. Me too.
Want to play a doll? Sure.
Now, since it's Christmas Eve, everybody can go and open one present. Merry Christmas, children!